to protect the children beyond the classroom settings.
Congratulations.
Well, the first batch of school security officers have been sworn in over in Miami as other districts across the state are under their own pressure to get their school staff before the start of the new year. Plus, time to hit the beach this morning, but it's not quite what you think. Cleanup begins this morning after all those 4th of July celebrations. And if you have a SeaWorld annual pass, you could be getting a check in the mail. We're going to tell you why. We have those stories, plus your first alert forecast. Good morning, Suncoast starts right now. And good morning to you on this Thursday morning. Ray Collins is on vacation. I'm Stephanie Webb. Thanks for waking up with us this morning. Quite a bit of rain and some big storms through yesterday. We got anything like that in our future today, John Scalzi?
Hey, stranger.
Hey!
Seems like a week since I've seen you. I think it has been about a week, hasn't it? Yeah, there's a little bit more rain, but today is going to be basically kind of a transition day. You know, yesterday we had the showers around, thunderstorms as well, lots of lightning. A lot of it caused by this area of low pressure that is now moving into the Gulf waters. It moved right across the state from the Atlantic to the Gulf, and it's beginning to move further and further from the state of Florida. So as it does that, it will allow for high pressure to build back in, which will switch our winds around to a more westerly direction tomorrow and probably as we head into the weekend as well. And that changes our weather pattern. So for today, yes, we get some more showers around, though we don't currently have a lot going on right now. I think most of those showers will be in inland areas, and the coastline will see fewer showers. The timing, again, late in the afternoon, into the day, into the evening. Not much going on right now. Morning commute should be just A-OK. The forecast shows, you know, we get some pretty good thunder boomers building a little bit later on in the afternoon. And those showers and thunderstorms could produce a fair amount of rainfall, but most of them will be focused in inland areas and not along our coastline. So we'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in just a few.
All right, thank you so much, John. Well, heavy rain brought on so much flooding, as you may have noticed, throughout the Suncoast. From 301 to 41 in Sarasota, cars, as you can see, had problems getting around because of all that flooding. 41 at 10th Street was shut down in both directions for a while yesterday, but once the floodwater started to recede, finally, some cars were allowed to move along there very slowly. Now, people that live in the area think that the flooding may have lasted longer in that area because of all the construction at the boat ramp.
There's a lot of concrete that's been constructed. A lot of surfaces have now been paved over that used to absorb the water.
I've never seen flooding this bad anywhere. Like, I've been down here since I was little, and I've never seen it flood like this.
And just as a reminder, the roads are opening back up this morning, but just make sure you go slow. And remember, if you don't know how deep the water may be on a street, simply turn around. Do not risk it. All right, let's check the roads outside and check out your first alert traffic for now this morning. Starting off in Manatee County, those roads are actually looking pretty decent out there. A little bit of a delay right there on State Road 64 as you approach 75, but other than that, not too much going on in Manatee County. In Sarasota County, those roads, well, let's see, it's your up-close look of Cortez right there, but in Sarasota County, those roads are actually looking pretty decent. Not too much going on right there. As you can see on Clark Road as you come off of 75, there's definitely a couple delays and slowdowns in that area. A little bit farther south, if your commute is going to take you to Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda, both 75 and 41 are running pretty smooth at this hour, so not too much bad out there right now. That's your first alert traffic at 5:03. Well, President Trump is getting close to a decision for who he wants to be the next Supreme Court justice, but at least one of his potential nominees is already getting some pushback from Republican senators. ABC's Kenneth Moten reports from Washington.
President Trump and the First Lady celebrating the 4th of July at the White House with military families.
Happy 4th of July.
But today the focus is back on his next pick for the soon-to-be open Supreme Court seat.
Such an important decision, and we're going to give you a great one like Justice Gorsuch. We hit a home run there, and we're going to hit a home run here.
The president has met with at least 7 possible replacements for retiring Justice Anthony Kennedy. But ABC News has learned GOP senators have taken aim at one of the candidates on the short list, Federal Court of Appeals Judge Brett Kavanaugh.
To be a good umpire and a good judge. Don't be a jerk.
The 53-year-old George W. Bush appointee has also said judges should have an open mind and be willing to change. Sources tell ABC News Republican Senators Rand Paul, Tom Cotton, and Ted Cruz called the president expressing concerns Kavanaugh wouldn't be that reliable conservative vote. As the president searches for a loyal conservative for the high court, the man who once said he would take a bullet for Trump used the 4th of July to signal his independence. Michael Cohen, the president's former longtime personal attorney, who's under federal investigation, scrubbed any mention of Trump and the Trump Organization from his social media. Remember, Cohen told ABC News a few days ago his first loyalty is his family. As for the president's Supreme Court pick, his decision is expected to be made by the end of the week. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
So did you see this yesterday? There was a woman arrested for climbing the Statue of Liberty. And of course, she is going to be in court later on this morning. Now, yesterday afternoon, the woman partly climbed up the statue as part of a protest. Teresa Okamu said she was protesting the separation of migrant parents and their children. Now, officers eventually had to climb up and take her into custody. The statue, of course, was closed down and evacuated for a short period of time while it all happened. There were no injuries reported. She, of course, now faces charges of trespassing, disorderly conduct, and interfering with government functions. But those charges could be added or changed when she's formally charged later on this morning. Well, another 4th of July in the books. And now let the cleanup begin. This morning, hundreds of volunteers will hit the beaches for a county-wide beach cleanup. ABC 7's Marla Spence joins us live from Siesta Beach, just one of the cleanup locations. How is that beach looking so far this morning, Marla, in the dark?
Good morning, Stephanie. Well, we won't quite know until the sun comes up just a little bit this morning, but Sarasota County has been preparing for its 5th annual Liberty Litter Cleanup for weeks now. Now, Sarasota County is doing this all across the county to 9 beaches that are hit the hardest during 4th of July, and they are expected to come out here and clean up all of what's left after those fun festivities yesterday. Now, take a look. These are the 9 beaches that will have those volunteers coming out. More than 150 volunteers have already registered to help keep Sarasota beautiful, along with Sarasota County Parks, Recreation, Natural Resources Department has all been in efforts of doing this for the past 4 years, and this year makes the 5th. Now, so far, with the help of volunteers, they've been able to collect 2 tons of trash and recyclables yearly for 4 years. Now, it's not too late for people to come on out and help. You can show up at any of the beaches this morning at 7 o'clock and look for the Clean Up Today banner flags at the main pavilion to register and get some cleaning supplies. Reporting live at Siesta Beach, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you so much, Marla. It's not too late to get involved. Well, thousands gathered along Sarasota's bayfront last night to watch a fireworks show over the bay, and it's been something that many people around here do for many years. Marina Jacks is one of the locations, and of course, it has become a family tradition.
It's just a time to decompress and just remember why we celebrate the 4th of July. It's the greatest country on earth, celebrating our independence, and just happy to be a family, enjoying the city we live in.
It's a spectacular show, and it's another, I think, example of civic pride and how much fun it is to live here on the Gulf Coast and especially spend some time in downtown Sarasota. It's a colorful event.
And last night's show lasted for about 22 minutes. Well, if you've got an annual pass for SeaWorld, you could be in for a big payout thanks to a class action lawsuit. Thousands of customers who purchased passes between December of 2008 and 2014 are going to be part of a class action lawsuit settlement. Now, SeaWorld was sued after they were accused of violating the Electronic Funds Transfer Act. Basically, they continue to charge people for those annual passes after their passes had already been paid for. Now, if the court approves the settlement agreement, eligible pass holders are going to receive a check in the mail some point in the future. Well, this morning, Sarasota police will continue their investigation into a drowning in Sarasota Bay. It all happened near Centennial Park in the 10th Street boat ramp just after noon yesterday. Police say 2 men were swimming in the bay. They became separated, and then one actually ended up finding the other unconscious. A witness said at one point he heard one of the men yelling for help.
I yelled at the boat, and I said, please go over there and see what's wrong with these guys. And he sped over there as fast as he could and threw him a life preserver. And by that time, I saw the guy jump in the water after him, and he tried to drag him to his boat, and the Sarasota police boat pulled up right afterwards.
Now, the man was brought to shore where rescuers performed CPR, but he didn't survive. Of course, we'll have more information for you as the morning goes on. Now, if you do have a SunPass account, there is some good news for you this morning. The toll transactions are finally starting to be processed 23 days after that expensive upgrade. FDOT has been trying to catch up and post millions of transactions that were made while the service was offline. About 4 million have been processed so far. Well, still to come on Good Morning Suncoast, crews in Thailand are still trying to find the safest way to get those 12 teens and their soccer coach out of the cave alive. The latest, well, the rescuers are actually searching for a secret passage in the cave. We're going to tell you why in just a few minutes. And coming up a little later in the hour, we're going to tell you about some wildfires out west. Already destroyed hundreds of homes. We'll tell you what we know so far. But first, back here on the Suncoast, it is a beautiful Thursday morning in the making. What's the rest of the day going to look like out there, John Scalzi?
Yeah, not bad. You know, we're kind of in a transition period today, so we'll see some shifting winds around and a little bit slightly different weather pattern as we head into the afternoon. Look for 76 degrees by about 7 a.m. By noon, a 20% chance of a shower nearer the coast. And around 3 p.m., only about a 30% chance. That's about half what we had yesterday. 90, our daytime high. We'll watch those showers gradually drift further and further away from the coast, I think, as we head into the afternoon. Haven't checked any of the inclement weather boxes either for the drive to work or the drive home from work. Maybe some thunderstorms around in inland locations later in the day. And all the airport hubs serving Sarasota International are running on time. Good news there. We'll have the complete forecast for you coming up in a few.
Who else has been taking your prescriptions? Keep your medicine and your family safe and secure. Mind your meds. To learn how we can help, visit the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids at drugfree.org.
Me. Oh, come on, man. Oh, man, I love technology. Hey, check out my new phone. Look at this right here. For years, the DeSoto Club has needed improvements. Join me and Boys and Girls Club of Manatee County as we raise money to build a brand new facility. It will be bigger and better, just like it was 40 years ago when I attended. Invest in kids, build great futures.
Are you a soccer mom or dad? Regardless of their age or experience level, when your kids play soccer or any other sport, there's one person on the sideline who is key to help recognize and seek medical care for sports-related concussion. It's you. You need to know the signs and symptoms of concussion, and you need to act if you think your child has been injured. Remember, when in doubt, sit them out. To learn more, go to cdc.gov/concussion. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004.
Hi, I'm Janelle Hale, founder and CEO of the National Breast Cancer Foundation. No one should face breast cancer alone. When I was diagnosed 36 years ago, there was no internet, and I had to make a decision with little information. Early detection saved my life. It could save yours too. To learn what every woman needs to know about breast cancer, visit nbcf.org/hope.
There was this big bruise on my friend's face. I didn't want to see it. I didn't want to think her own nephew could have hit her.
I didn't want to see it. My mother's bank account was emptied, and a caregiver had taken control of it.
I didn't want to see it. My father's refrigerator. There was hardly anything in it. That's unusual for him.
It's tough to see that a senior citizen is being abused, physically, emotionally, sexually, or financially. Elder abuse is a crime.
So see the signs. Stop the crimes.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
71 degrees our air temperature. We have pretty quiet conditions outside right now. We have a dew point value coming in at 70, slightly lower than it was 24 hours ago, thanks to all that dry, cold air that fell from the clouds yesterday and the downdrafts of some of those bigger thunderstorms. So that 71 will probably get up to about 89, 90 degrees for a daytime high, something like that. And we will see some showers and thunderstorms around. But the rain chances reduced from where they were yesterday, and I think the severity of the storms somewhat reduced as well. I don't think we'll have the very, very heavy rains that we saw yesterday. And most of the activity, I think, is going to be in inland areas, not along the immediate coastline. So by 7 o'clock, a 76-degree temperature, 89 degrees by the time we get to 12 noon, 90 by around 3 p.m. And that's when we'll have our 30% chance of showers. A few near the coastline, mostly in inland areas, and I think a lot of that inland shower and thunderstorm activity will probably pretty much die out in the inland locations. And then by 7 p.m., I think everything quiets down. So we had this big kind of gyre of rain shower echoes on radar yesterday as the showers and thunderstorms built and moved gradually toward the coastline, pushed by an easterly wind and an upper level low that moved across the state. Well, now, today, that upper level low is out in the Gulf waters, and we have a pretty quiet start to the morning. Not a whole lot of activity anticipated throughout the drive time period, so I think morning commute should be just fine weather-wise. Don't really see any issues here. Maybe an isolated stray shower. By the way, if you are lucky enough to be headed to the beach again this afternoon, well, these are the latest reports from Moat Marine observers who have gone out here and kind of sampled the air quality in a subjective sort of way and have found that there are some areas that still have red tide toxins in the air, and in fact it has moved a little bit further down to the south once again. Both Nokomis and Venice beaches are showing intense, according to our Moat Marine spotters, intense amounts of respiratory irritants in the air, and point south of that a little bit less. But from Siesta Key northward, the flags are flying green. Now this will be updated today, and things always change. It'll be updated today at around 10, 11 o'clock, so we'll have that latest for you on the noon news. Westerly wind flow again this afternoon as we develop our little bit of a sea breeze. There's the spinning area of low pressure. And further out into the Atlantic, we're watching a couple of areas of disturbed weather. One far away from us, the other a little closer by. Neither one of them really impacting our weather whatsoever. The one furthest from the state of Florida having the best chance of developing over the next couple of days, but as it moves east, it will encounter some winds that'll basically tear it apart. This one, a little bit closer to us, will move out to the north and to the east. So none of them bother us over here in Florida, but we will keep an eye on them. The weather highlights include that little trough of low pressure continuing to push away from us, and we will look at this general wind out of the east, shifting with time to a more westerly direction. West at about 5 knots this evening. Should be a nice day for boating, like chop 2-foot seas. And about a 30% chance of showers today, and that is not the 4th of July. I should have removed that icon. I missed it. Well, I'll remove it next half hour. 20% chance of showers tomorrow, and then as we head into the weekend, a shift in the pattern where our showers and thunderstorms build near the coast in the morning and then drift back toward the inland areas in the afternoon, leaving the sunshine and warm temperatures for coastal residents without any cooling rain showers. And I think that pattern probably continues into at least part of next week. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, John. Let's take a look at your first alert traffic out there this morning. Not too bad in Manatee County so far. Most of those roads are running pretty smooth out there at this hour. And then heading down a little bit farther south into Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad either. Most of the things are pretty open, pretty good. Fruitville, just one small delay, and we're starting to see a couple slowdowns right there on Bee Ridge as you approach 41. But other than that, not too much going on at this hour. If you're headed farther south in the area toward Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda, 75 and 41 are running smooth at this hour. 518, that's your first alert traffic. Well, like the rest of the state, the Miami-Dade School District has to hire 100 school security officers before school starts again in the fall. Now, the district has now officially hired its first batch of officers. Reporter Gina Benitez has the story.
Congratulations. A new batch of officers sworn in Tuesday. Each one will be a school resource officer in Miami-Dade. This is the first swearing in for the Miami-Dade Schools Police Department since the passing of SB 7026. Passed after the Parkland shooting, it requires all schools have an armed guard on campus starting this upcoming school year.
We both have a moral and legal obligation ensuring that for the beginning of the next school year, we have a police officer in every single school.
Some of the new inductees have previous law enforcement experience. Ariel Nunez is one of them.
Feels great. Feels nice to be back.
Others, like Freddie Rosa, are completely new to law enforcement. Rosa was most recently an elementary school teacher. He's making the move from educator to officer.
After those unfortunate events that happened at the schools, I really felt the call in my heart to do more, to protect the children beyond the classroom settings.
This group, the first of 100 planned hires for these positions. The department's chief saying they're looking for a specific kind of person for the job.
Local municipalities, officers do great work as well, but to work 8 or 10 hours a day with today's youth in a law enforcement capacity, it takes a special person. So we're specifically targeting officers that not only want to be law enforcement personnel, but specifically want to work with kids.
Still ahead on Good Morning Suncoast, Netflix subscribers, you may have a new super fast option to stream all your favorite shows. We're going to tell you what they're considering doing. And coming up at 5:30, many will be hitting the road this morning, heading home after those 4th of July celebrations. We're going to tell you what police are cracking down on as you travel. Stick around, we have those stories and much more when we come back. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.
This is your brain. This is drugs. This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Yeah, I have questions.
Prescription drugs aren't as bad as street drugs, right?
Weed's legal, isn't it?
Drinking is worse than smoking weed.
Isn't it? Why
is heroin so addictive?
Molly just makes you feel happy.
I have questions.
Mom?
Dad, did you ever try drugs?
They're going to ask. Be ready. Go to drugfree.org. A message from Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
My name is Haley. I have Fragile X syndrome. I work with Chartwells at Einstein's and FAU. I like being up front and interacting with students. The students are very nice and very hungry. Having a job is a big ticket for independence.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Find out first at 4 on the Suncoast with ABC 7 News at 4. ABC 7 News at 4 starts with a detailed look at your first alert weather forecast to help you plan and prepare. We give you a fresh, fast-paced rundown of the day's top stories and videos, including breaking news, live updates, and traffic hotspots, all at a new, more convenient time. Find out first at 4, weekdays on ABC 7.
Ever since I can remember, I've been intrigued by industrial design and the optimization.
Wait, that's passion? Ever since I can remember, my passion has been industrial design. We need 3D printers for Miss Adams' engineering program so that we are ready to solve 21st century challenges.
Impressive. Think It Up is a new initiative to support student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classroom today? Think it up.
You now have the power to prioritize your Facebook feed and get local news and information from the team you trust. Go to the ABC 7 Sarasota page on Facebook. Give us a like, then click following and choose See First. That's it. Customize even more by choosing notifications. Choose breaking news, posts, live videos, anything you want to see in real time. Take control of your newsfeed and stay connected to what's happening in your community with ABC 7 on Facebook.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Well, now to the latest on the soccer team and their coach still trapped inside a flooded cave in Thailand. They've been there now for 12 days. Now the 12 boys and their soccer coach were found alive first on Monday night. They're trapped about a mile underground. Experts and dive teams from Thailand, China, Australia and the UK are all helping out in the rescue. So here's the latest. Is there a secret passage into that cave? Because some of the boys have reported that they keep hearing dogs barking and sounds happening from the surface, even though they're almost a mile underground. So now the new plan is that some rescuers are checking to see if there's an entrance from the surface of the cave that they have missed so far. Well, the plight of those boys and their coach has definitely captured the world's attention, with dozens of journalists and bloggers all working online at the site. Here is just how they're doing it. Somehow this seems so much better in our often too cold studio, but I'll take a cold studio any day over having to work in the mud all like that. But they are bringing everybody the stories. They've got bloggers from all over the world that have set up at that camp to see how they're getting through it and of course to be there for the big rescue. Well, Netflix is apparently considering a new subscription office. We've got the details in today's Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Netflix is testing a new pricing plan. It's considering adding an ultra subscription tier that would offer simultaneous high-definition video streams.
Netflix says it would cost about $17 a month, but it's unclear if it would actually ever be put in place.
New research confirms that, yes, your phone is spying on you. Researchers studied Android apps and the media files being sent from them.
They found the apps don't turn on your phone or record your voice, but some of them do send screen grabs to third parties without your permission. And Emirates Airlines is giving everyone a chance to see what first class is like.
It's launched a new virtual reality experience on its website. It lets you wander around inside an A380, including its onboard showers. Users can also book their seats within the virtual environment.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Tech Bites, sponsored by Xeljanz.
Your mornings were made for better things than psoriatic arthritis. As you and your rheumatologist consider treatments, ask if Xeljanz XR is right for you. Xeljanz XR is a once-daily pill for psoriatic arthritis. Taken with methotrexate or similar medicines, it can reduce joint pain, swelling, and significantly improve physical function. Xeljanz XR can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections, lymphoma, and other cancers have happened. Don't start Xeljanz XR if you have an infection. Tears in the stomach or intestines, low blood cell counts, and higher liver tests and cholesterol levels have happened. Your doctor should perform blood tests before you start and while taking Xeljanz XR and monitor certain liver tests. Tell your doctor if you are in a region where fungal infections are common and if you have had TB, hepatitis B or C, or are prone to infections. Xeljanz XR can reduce the symptoms of psoriatic arthritis. Don't let another morning go by without talking to your rheumatologist about Xeljanz XR.
I was always worried and scared. Mom was in pain. She wasn't going to get any better, and all the trips to the ER were painful for all of us. Then we called Tidewell Hospice, and everything changed. Now she has care in our home when she needs it, surrounded by family. We know we don't have much time left with Mom, but we decided to make the best out of that time. Tidewell Hospice, it's more than you think.
I took my first handful of pills, and that's when all my priorities seemed to change.
He would ask to use the bathroom in other people's homes.
He just assumed that they would have medication.
He'd go in their medicine cabinets and steal prescription drugs.
I wish I knew really what these prescription pills were.
We were so naive about the whole drug thing.
These are all synthetic forms of heroin.
Keep your medication locked up because you'll never notice that a pill is gone.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
I'm Deshauna Barber. In 2016, I was proud to win the title of Miss USA. What makes me just as proud is my service in the U.S. military. In the service, a soldier gains skills and learns values like discipline and leadership. That makes them an asset to any business that hires them. If you're an employer, on behalf of Coalition to Salute America's Heroes, remember to hire smart and bet on a vet. Visit saluteheroes.org or call this number to learn more.
I am the resident district manager on the FAU campus for Chartwell. Whenever I see Haley, I do not see a person with a disability. I see a person with extraordinary abilities. Haley is always smiling. She's always on time. She gives fantastic customer service and is always focused on any job that she's given.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
When ABC7 declares a first alert weather day, it means we can expect major changes to weather conditions here along the Suncoast.
It means there could be severe, potentially dangerous weather ahead.
We tell you when a first alert weather day is coming because we want you to be prepared.
A first alert weather day is an advance warning. We'll let you know about any changes in the weather when the first signs appear.
ABC7 First Alert Weather. We're here for you.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
You're watching Good Morning Suncoast at 5:30.
Well, of course, we're scared, right? But we have our pets, we have our kids, and we're going. We're just going to stay safe.
A wildfire burning in Colorado caught residents off guard when it took an unexpected turn. We're going to tell you what happened. Plus, the fireworks are done. Now let the beach clean up again. We're going to tell you how you can get involved in this morning's cleanup after 4th of July celebrations. And imagine this, renovating your home and finding a note hidden inside a wall from 20 years ago. Well, that actually happened to one couple. We're going to tell you just what that note said all these years later. We have these stories plus your first alert forecast. It all starts now on Good Morning Suncoast. And good morning to you. It is 5:31 on this Thursday morning. Ray Collins is off on vacation today and tomorrow. It is myself, Stephanie Webb, and the fabulous John Scalzi holding down the fort.
That's so sweet, that note in the wall, right?
Isn't that cool?
We have one. We have one. My wife and I have one in our house. Yep, when we built our house, we put a little teddy bear and a little note, and we put it in the wall and walled it up, and somebody someday will find it. I know. I can't wait. I'm excited. So we had this area of low pressure that moved across the state yesterday, provided us with all the rain showers. Well, that's now moved out into the Gulf waters, further away from us. So we are kind of in a transition day, somewhat sloppy atmosphere, but still a transition to a pattern that we have become familiar with, which we'll discuss in detail in just a few minutes. But for now, for today, expect to see again, a chance at some showers, but not as big a chance as we had yesterday, and most of the showers, I think, will be in inland areas, as our winds will be somewhat light and variable, and we'll have a better chance of seeing showers and thunderstorms build by a stronger sea breeze that pushes a little further inland. Right now, the radar quiet, and morning commute should be just fine, no issues here. We'll put the rain chances about half of what they were yesterday, coming in at about 30%, maxing it out, and that'll be mostly in inland areas, not along the coastline. Complete forecast for you coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Sean. Let's take a look outside and check out some of that first alert traffic. Still looking good right now. Not too many problems out there. Manatee County, all those roads are running pretty decent, very smooth. No real accidents or delays to tell you about. In Sarasota County, those roads, again, are not looking too bad out there. We did have a couple delays on Bee Ridge and Fruitville, but all of those have cleared up. If your commute is going to take you a little bit farther south into the area, those roads are looking pretty decent. Both 75 and 41 are still running pretty smooth so far. We don't have any major accidents to tell you about. That is your first alert traffic at 5:33. Well, across the country, wildfires have been blazing, particularly in California and Colorado, with a few of the biggest ones burning in both of those states. The unpredictable weather isn't helping to get those fires contained. Reporter Andrew Spencer has the latest.
Strong winds whipped up the Lake Christine fire, burning in Basalt, Colorado, northwest of Aspen. The fire grew quickly Wednesday. Evacuation orders came in for people to leave immediately. No time to pack.
I'm scared because I don't have a chance to take anything.
Of course, we're scared, right? But we have our pets, we have our kids, and we're going.
With erratic winds making predictions difficult, the Eagle County Sheriff's Office said residents who feel unsafe should leave and not wait for evacuation orders. There's also a lot of uncertainty surrounding the Spring Creek fire in southern Colorado, as evacuees wait to find out when they'll be able to get back home and whether their homes will still be standing. The Spring Creek fire is now the third largest wildfire in state history. As of midnight, it was still only 5% contained, having burned more than 95,000 acres. In California, the county fire has burned almost as much land, having scorched more than 86,000 acres across the Napa and Yolo counties as of Wednesday night.
My house has never been a mile away from burning up, so yeah, pretty scary.
Right now, dozens of wildfires are burning across the West, and more than 13,000 firefighters and support staff are doing what they can to try and contain them. I'm Andrew Spencer, reporting.
Well, time to wake up. It is time to hit the beach this morning, but not for the reason that you may think. The annual beach cleanup after all those 4th of July celebrations kicks off later this morning. ABC's Marla Spence joined us now from one of the cleanup locations on Siesta Key.
Good morning, Stephanie. After weeks of preparations and also after 4th of July on yesterday, Keep Sarasota Beautiful and volunteers will be coming to at least this beach today to be doing a beach cleanup in efforts to getting all that trash up from those fun festivities on yesterday. Now today, volunteers will be hitting 9 beaches across the county that are usually hit the hardest during Independence Day. For a week, Keep Sarasota Beautiful has been preparing for this day by handing out yellow bags and registering volunteers for the county-wide beach cleanup. Keep Sarasota Beautiful, along with Sarasota County Parks, Recreation, and Natural Resources Department, has been doing this for the past 4 years, and this year makes the 5th. So far, with the help of volunteers, they've been able to collect 2 tons of trash and recyclables yearly for 4 years. Now, these are the 9 beaches within the county where more than 150 people have already registered to help. Now, it's not too late for you to help. You can show up at any beach this morning at 7 o'clock, and you can look for the Clean Up Today banner flags at the main pavilions to register and get some cleaning supplies. Reporting live at Siesta Key Beach, I'm Marla Spence for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thanks so much, Marla. Well, if you're heading home today after all of those holiday celebrations, don't forget to buckle up. The Click It or Ticket campaign is in full effect over the holiday travel week. Now, if you need some motivation to remember to fasten your seatbelt, safety experts say that if you are involved in a crash and you aren't wearing a seatbelt, you have a 90% chance of being severely injured or even killed. It's also important to wear your seatbelt the right way because that can be just as dangerous as not wearing one at all.
Worst outcome is obviously death, but sometimes there's the living death, is what we call injuries that are lifelong, that cost people millions of dollars in expenses, hospital expenses, living expenses.
Now, he also says that you should have all of your kids in car seats facing backwards, at least until they weigh 40 pounds or at least 40 inches tall. Well, the 4th of July holiday has a different meaning for many immigrant families living here in the States. Danielle Gonzalez's family considers it a special day for a different reason. July 4th was the 16th anniversary of her family arriving in America from Mexico, but she admits it's been a tough journey adjusting.
To earn a living, a good living, you know, and have a career, which that was in our plans. Have a house and give a better life to the next generation.
Now, Gonzalez received a DACA, or Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, that allowed her to start at a community college to work toward a college education. Well, the Secret Service continues to warn travelers to be on the lookout for credit card skimmers at the gas pumps. They say there's been a disturbing surge in thieves using those skimming devices at the pumps, especially with everyone gassing up over their travel holiday. A recent sting looking for skimmers in 21 different states found 59 skimmers at 85 different locations. Now, most of those skimming devices are hidden inside the pump itself. Once it's there, it can read and store your credit card information. Now, to reduce the chance of having your information taken, it's recommended that you pay with a credit card inside the gas station, or at the very least, definitely use the credit option on your debit card if you do have to pay at the pump. Victims of this type of theft say it is very frustrating.
I had some
fraudulent charges. One person was shopping in Las Vegas at the time I was at work. I caught them in the act, as a matter of fact. I had over $150 worth of postage out of Washington, D.C. the entire time I'm in Jackson, Mississippi. Had no clue where the charges came from.
Now, Secret Service officials say they are working to crack down on all those credit card thieves. Imagine this. You are renovating your home, you knock down a wall, and then inside it you find a message hidden more than 20 years ago. Get this, Alex and Jess Monty, they were redoing a bathroom, and they had just taken down a wall when they saw the message left by the previous owners, who also apparently had a sense of humor. Their message said, quote, "We remodeled this bathroom in the summer of 1995. If you're reading this, that means you're remodeling the bathroom again. What's wrong with the way that we did it?" There's also a picture of the couple and a pet rabbit that also lived in the house. The couple say they plan on leaving their own message after that remodel. Well, congrats to 2 Suncoast restaurants. They made the list of the best seafood dives in Florida. Trips to Discover released a list of their top 12 best seafood dives. Owens Fish Camp and Star Fish Company both made the list. The travel group says that the 2 restaurants focus on fresh boat-to-table food, having amazing waterfront views, and boast some old-school Florida vibes. Well, a military father surprised his wife and kids yesterday at the Brandon July 4th parade. Luke Mellenthin just finished a year-long deployment, decided to surprise his 3 kids at the parade because it is a family tradition to go to. He said the hardest part of his deployment was having to miss out on all those special moments in his kids' lives, like kindergarten graduation and even his youngest son learning to talk. Still to come, a shocking discovery for 2 college baseball players. We're going to tell you what they found out that will change their lives forever. But first, is it a life-changing day here in Sarasota? Not so much, but it's starting out to be not a bad morning. Any rain and any more storms in the future for today, John Scalzi?
Oh, yes. We can't get away from the storms, although the character of them and the location of them will be slightly different. We still have need for some rain showers. We're in the moderate risk zone again for fire danger today, so you can use a little bit of rainfall around. Air quality is good. Particulates are the biggest contributor to a 39, which is in the good category. No issues with our air quality whatsoever. That's probably leftover gunpowder. Gunpowder smoke. No, I don't know. We're looking at 89 degrees at the beaches today. Should be a nice afternoon at the beaches. Maybe a few storms around, but those will mostly be in inland areas. And the UV index coming in at about a 10. We'll have the complete forecast in a second.
Today, everyone is looking for carpeting that lasts longer. G. Fried has you covered with Karastan. With a legacy of quality and integrity, we provide you with a huge selection of Karastan carpets with exclusive lifetime limited warranties. All installed by our highly skilled, highly knowledgeable team. Come ask us why Karastan is the best and most durable. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
The skills you develop as a soldier in the Army National Guard can give you a head start on your career. Gain practical experience with technology and equipment that will give you a leg up in the civilian world. Learn critical leadership skills and to be part of a team. Serve your community and your country part-time while earning money for an education. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn about the paid training and career opportunities available to you in the Army National Guard.
We've all heard how military veterans adjusting to the civilian world may have certain issues.
30. 78.
If only everyone had this issue. No matter what challenge they face, Easter Seals is here for America's veterans.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves him green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
When it comes to drinking, what do you think moderation is? The U.S. dietary guidelines define moderation as up to 1 drink a day for women and up to 2 drinks a day for men. So what's a drink? The guidelines say a drink equals 12 ounces of beer, 5 ounces of wine, or a cocktail with 1.5 ounces of distilled spirits. Each contains the same amount of alcohol. Like to learn more? Visit drinkinmoderation.org.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert Weather Forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So we're looking at a temperature coming in at about 71 degrees. We have a dew point value of 70, a little bit lower than it was 24 hours ago. So I think it feels a little more comfortable out there. Some of that drier air drawn down by the big thunderstorms that we had around yesterday evening. 71 degrees, our heat index, exactly the same as the air temperature. Now, I don't think we're going to see much more than that for the next couple of hours, but certainly as we head into the afternoon, those heat indexes will become a factor as we get back up to the near 100 degree range again today. So we started off quiet, calm. We should have a nice morning commute, 76 degrees by about 7 a.m. We'll get to 12 noon with a temperature that starts to warm up pretty quickly under the influence of lots of sunshine around. We'll be up at about 89 degrees by 12 noon, and we'll factor in a small chance at a shower by then. Along the coastline mostly, but nothing really heavy. I don't think we'll see any thunderstorms at that point. As we head into the 3 p.m. time period, we do have a chance at an isolated thunderstorm, but the rain chance much less than it was yesterday. And frankly, most of the shower and thunderstorm activity will be in inland areas, Hardy, DeSoto, inland Charlotte, inland Manatee and Sarasota counties all have probably about a 50 to 60% chance of seeing thunderstorms in that location. But they generally will not linger near our coastline very long, and then as we head into the evening hours, everything kind of winds down. So we have this area of large-scale rotation in the atmosphere, this area of low pressure that moved across the state and brought us those intense lines of thunderstorms that moved through. Most of the heaviest rain was inland, but some of the storms actually managed to make it to the coastline, producing lots of lightning pops there as well. That occurring during the afternoon and evening hours. We had a general east to west motion of those storms. I'm not so sure we're going to see that today. I think our storms that build inland will tend to want to stay inland, just like they're in Vegas. Storms that build in Vegas stay in Vegas. No, I don't know. Never mind. So we're looking at some pretty quiet conditions along our coastline for the morning commute. There's that spinning area of low pressure continuing to pull away. So we have high pressure forecast to build down to the south of us, and if that indeed does happen, we are likely to see a more westerly wind flow. We also have 2 areas of disturbed weather that the Hurricane Center is watching. One has about a 30 to 40% chance of developing, but it moves away from the United States. Another has about a 70% chance of developing. That's pretty good, but it drifts off to the east, enters into an area of strong winds, and gets torn apart. So neither of these storms are going to bother us whatsoever, although you may hear about a named storm coming down the road from that one way out in the Atlantic. A trough of low pressure continues to pull away from the state of Florida. High pressure builds in down to the south. Winds generally out of the east will become lighter with time, and eventually a westerly wind will build in, favoring the other coast for shower and thunderstorm development over the weekend. But for today, we're kind of in the middle of all these various factors. So it's kind of a transition day. Winds will be light, variable, and that will allow our sea breeze to become stronger and push most of the storms into inland areas where they'll basically just die out there. So I don't think we'll see a lot of activity right near the immediate coast. For boating today, nice day. Southeast wind becomes west at about 5 knots. Should be a good day for boating, light chop. Today we'll look for 90 as a daytime high, 89 tomorrow, 20 to 30% chance of showers for the next several days actually. And over the weekend, most of the coastline stays quiet as the showers and thunderstorms are forced into inland areas by a generally light westerly wind. And that trend continues into next week. Back to you.
All right, thank you so much, John. Let's take a look outside and check your first alert traffic. We'll start off in Manatee County, starting to see quite a few more delays in that area, especially right there on State Road 70, as you can see, between 41 and 75. Lots of slowdowns in that area, as there normally are around this time of the morning. And then heading a little bit farther south into Sarasota County, those roads aren't looking too bad, but we do have a couple of those delays that have popped back up again on Fruitville and Bee Ridge right as you come off of 75. So just give yourself a few extra minutes, just our normal commute stuff. A little bit farther south in the area, if you're headed toward Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda, 75, 41, they are both running smooth so far out there this morning. It is 5:49. That is your first alert traffic. Well, 2 college basketball or baseball players made a shocking discovery at a summer camp in Alaska. As Dave Leval reports from Anchorage, they found out that they have a bond that is far deeper than just playing on the same team.
Coming to the plate for your Chinook, number 8, Seth Ballinger.
It's the first time in Alaska for the 19-year-old outfielder from Tyler Junior College.
We're flat in Texas. This is a little bit different for sure.
Batting for your Chinook, number 5, Luke Vandover.
The sophomore infielder from Harding University is also new to the area.
It's awesome. It's a great scenery, great weather.
They're part of this season's Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks. The two live about 3 hours away from each other. Luke in Little Rock, Arkansas, Seth from Carthage, Texas. Yet each had to travel roughly 5,000 miles to learn they share a closer bond than either imagined.
Luke came up to me and said, "Hey, I think we're cousins." And I was like, "What are you talking about? No way." And he was just like, "Is your grandma Dawn Smith?" I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Well, you got to read this text message."
2 weeks into training camp, Vandover got a message from home. It came from his grandmother, who looked at the team's roster.
My grandmother texted me asking if I knew had a kid on the team named with the last name Ballinger, and I said, "Yes, ma'am."
Seth Ballinger.
Second cousins.
That's just crazy. I have friends back home who they joke with me about having a big family, and it's just nothing surprises me anymore. So it's awesome. I'm 19 now, and I'm just kind of grateful that I've met Luke now and get to be with him and grow with him for the rest of my life now, looking forward.
For many, Alaska represents the trip of a lifetime. People come to the 49th state and leave with indelible memories. Soon, a pair of summer college baseball players will depart with more than just game experience. They'll leave with a newfound connection, 19 years in the making.
All right, what a great story that is. Not too shabby. 5,000 miles to find that you have a whole other side of your family. All right, we've got another wrap-up of your headlines. One final look at your first alert forecast when we come out. Here's a little shot from our tower cam this morning. You are watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC 7.
From the moment she walked in the door, we stopped having to go to the pharmacy. Certain prescriptions, my health plan or the pharmacy wasn't even able to get here. And hospice provided them, and all we had to do was call up, and the next thing they know, there was another, a delivery.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
The ABC 7 First Alert weather app just got even better. It's easy to use once you download it. First, tell the app to follow you, so you get alerts pinpointed to exactly where you are. Then customize your settings with all the places you go, from the beach to grandmother's house. Get accurate alerts for everyone you care about. You can even pick which weather alerts and categories you want and what they sound like. More ways to customize and more ways to keep your family safe. Download the ABC7 First Alert Weather app today.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
Well, it is 5:54, and here are some of the top stories that we've been following for you this morning on the Suncoast. First, U.S. military troops have now been sent in to see if they can help with the rescue of a group of teens and their soccer coach in that Thailand cave. They've been trapped in there for the last 12 days, about a mile underground, after a storm flooded the cave that they'd been exploring. Plus, another 4th of July in the books. Now, let the cleanup begin. This morning, hundreds of volunteers will hit the beaches for a county-wide beach cleanup. And across the country, wildfires have exploded in the west, with a few of the biggest fires burning in both California and Colorado. The unpredictable weather there isn't helping to get some of those fires contained any easier. And speaking of that weather, let's take one final look at your forecast with John Scalzi. What's today going to look like, John?
Well, we've got a couple of features to talk about today. In the forecast, you'll see showers and thunderstorms building after a period of sunshine to start off the day. Those showers and thunderstorms will be mostly in inland locations. And then as we head into the weekend, we've got a little bit of a pattern shift coming our way. And we'll talk about that pattern shift in the next half hour.
All right, thanks so much, John. Well, it is 5:59. We're going to be right back with another full hour of news and weather, and of course your First Alert traffic to make sure that your morning commute runs smoothly this day after 4th of July. Many of you heading back to work today. Ray Collins is off today and tomorrow, so John and I are holding down the fort. Hope you'll stick around. You're watching Good Morning Suncoast right here on ABC7.